Greenland, a land of ice, silence, and extremes. A place that seems far removed from the familiar landscapes of Muslim history. Deserts, caravan routes, and great cities like Baghdad, Damascus, and Cairo. Yet history often hides its most fascinating stories at the margins. This documentary explores how the Muslim world and the Arctic North were indirectly connected during the Viking Age, not through conquest or settlement, but through trade, scholarship, and a shared medieval global economy. This is a story for those curious about Islam's global historical footprint, even in places where Muslims themselves never settled. Chapter 1. The Vikings who sailed west. Around the year 986 CE, Norse settlers led by Eric the Red crossed the North Atlantic and founded two main settlements in Greenland, the eastern and western settlements. These people were farmers, hunters, traders, and sailors. They built churches, raised cattle, hunted seals, and carved out a fragile existence along Greenland's fjords. Their world was harsh, but they were not cut off. Greenland was linked to Iceland, Norway, and through them, the wider Viking world. Every summer, ships crossed the Atlantic carrying timber, iron, cloth, and most importantly, news. The Greenland Norse were part of a civilization whose reach extended far beyond the Arctic. Chapter 2. The Viking world was global. Popular imagination paints Vikings as raiders attacking monasteries in Europe. But raiding was only one part of the Viking story. The Vikings were also long-distance traders, river navigators, cultural intermediaries. While some Norse sailed west to Greenland and Vinland, others traveled east, deep into Eastern Europe. Using rivers like the Volga and Dnieper, Scandinavian traders reached the Black Sea, the Caspian Sea, and the trading zones of the Islamic world. By the 9th and 10th centuries, Viking traders, known in Arabic sources as the Rus, were regular visitors to Muslim lands. One of the most remarkable encounters comes from Ahmad ibn Fadlan, a 10th century Muslim diplomat. Sent on a mission from the Abbasid Caliphate, Ibn Fadlan encountered Norse traders along the Volga River. He described them in vivid detail, their appearance, their ships, their rituals, even their funerals. His writings are among the most detailed contemporary descriptions of Vikings that exist. From the Muslim perspective, these northern traders were strange, powerful, and unsettling, yet deeply embedded in global trade networks. Muslim geographers and historians wrote about northern lands, icy seas, and people who lived where the sun barely set. Greenland itself was not described, but the world that produced Greenland settlers certainly was. Silver from the Caliphate. Across Scandinavia, archaeologists have uncovered something extraordinary. Thousands upon thousands of Islamic silver coins known as dirhams, minted in cities like Baghdad, Samarkand, Damascus. These coins traveled thousands of kilometers, carried by trade, not conquest. Silver from the Muslim world became the backbone of the Viking economy. Now consider this. Greenland's most valuable export was walrus ivory, prized across Europe for luxury items and church art. That ivory moved eastward through Norse trade networks. And the silver that funded Viking society? Much of it came from the Islamic world. So while no Muslim set foot in Greenland in the Viking Age, Muslim minted silver indirectly supported the very society that lived there. Goods, ideas, and influence. Trade is never just about objects. Along with silver came silks, decorative styles, jewelry, weights, and measures. In Viking graves, archaeologists have found rings bearing Arabic inscriptions, including the word Allah. These objects do not mean Vikings converted to Islam, but they do prove something important. The Viking world, including Greenland settlers, existed within a connected medieval system where the Islamic world was a central economic and intellectual power. Chapter 6. Why Greenland remained different. So why didn't these connections reach Greenland directly? The answer lies in geography and survival. Greenland was remote, environmentally fragile, and dependent on limited trade routes. Only a few ships arrived each year. The Greenland Norse struggled simply to survive, let alone host foreign merchants from distant civilizations. Their link to the Muslim world was indirect but real, passing through Scandinavia and Europe. Chapter 7. Modern Muslims in Greenland. Fast forward to the modern era. Greenland today has a population of around 56,000 people. Its Muslim population? Only a handful of individuals, immigrants, professionals, or workers. There are no historic mosques, no ancient Muslim communities. Islam's presence in Greenland is modern, personal, and small. But symbolically, it completes a long historical arc, from indirect medieval connections to real human presence today. A connected world of ice and silver Greenland reminds us of a deeper truth about Muslim history. Islam was not only a religion, it was a civilizational engine of trade, scholarship, and economic power that shaped the medieval world. Even at the edge of the Arctic, far beyond the lands of Islam, the influence of Muslim minted silver, Muslim scholarship, and Muslim trade networks helped shape societies that never heard the Adhan. Muslim travelers wrote about the Vikings. Muslim cities supplied the silver that fueled their economy. And through these unseen connections, the Islamic world reached, indirectly, the frozen shores of Greenland. This is not a story of arrival. It is a story of reach. As we reach the end of this journey, it is important to be clear and honest with history. There is no credible historical evidence that Greenland was ever ruled by Muslims, visited by Muslim explorers in the medieval period, or home to an established Muslim community before modern times. Greenland's recorded past is shaped primarily by Norse settlement beginning in the late 10th century, followed by its gradual conversion to Christianity around the year 1000, first under Catholic influence and later Lutheran tradition. And yet, history is rarely a story of isolation. While Muslims did not travel to Greenland itself, the Norse people who settled its icy shores were part of a much wider Viking world, a world that was deeply connected to the Islamic civilization of the Middle Ages. Through vast trade networks stretching across Eastern Europe and into Muslim lands, Norse traders exchanged goods, silver, and ideas. The Arabic-inscribed coins and artifacts found in Scandinavia do not point to Muslim settlement in Greenland. They do not suggest conversion, conquest, or migration. Instead, they tell a subtler and perhaps more powerful story, one of long-distance exchange, where objects, wealth, and influence moved across continents even when people did not. Greenland remained distant. The Arctic stayed remote. But the world was already connected. This is not a history of arrival. It is a history of reach, where the influence of the Muslim world, through trade and scholarship, quietly touched societies living at the very edge of the known world. In the end, Greenland reminds us that even the most remote places are shaped by global forces, sometimes not by footsteps on the land, but by silver in the hand stories carried by merchants and connections that history leaves just beneath the surface. If you enjoyed this journey into hidden history, let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Hit like, subscribe to the channel, and stay with us for more untold stories from the past.